that seals fate, the end of every heart. I'm no villain nor hero.
Have you ever wondered what really happens in the final moments of life? I am Lucius Eternus, an angel of death, and I witness what most people refuse to even imagine. When someone is about to cross over, powerful and unexpected visions appear before them. Today, I will reveal the 9 things everyone sees in those last moments. These visions are known by few, but inevitably, everyone will experience them. Get ready to uncover deep truths, from emotional reunions with those who have passed before, to the light we all face. What you're about to hear will challenge everything you think you know about death. And maybe, just maybe, it will forever change the way you see life. The first thing people see when they die are the ones they loved. Moments after I sever their silver cord, the one that ties their soul to their body, their departed loved ones appear before them. The silver cord, that invisible link between the soul and the body, is delicate, yet strong. It keeps life and soul tethered to the physical world until the moment it must be cut. And that's where I come in. I don't use force or cause pain. When the time comes, with just a touch of my scythe, a gentle, quiet gesture, I sever it, silently, almost imperceptibly. The soul is freed, as if a gust of wind carries it away. Right after this release, their loved ones appear. They aren't distant memories, but clear, real presences, wrapped in a comforting light. There's no fear, only peace. These familiar faces appear as guides, ready to lead the soul into the new journey that begins. For the one leaving, it's like meeting an old friend in the middle of the darkness, bringing a sense of relief. This reunion is no dream or illusion. It's real. Those who left before knew this moment would come, and they are there, ready to welcome and guide the soul to the other side. In that moment, the fear fades. What remains is a deep peace and the certainty that no one faces death alone. When the last breath is taken, there's an immediate revelation that many don't expect: material possessions, those things we spend our entire lives accumulating and protecting, lose all their value. In that final moment, the weight we've carried throughout our life, whether it's a house, a car, or even professional achievements, vanishes like dust in the wind. None of it matters anymore. I've seen this countless times. In that moment, the soul realizes that everything it fought so hard for is insignificant in the face of death's vastness. It's as if a veil falls, and the true value of life is finally revealed. The person looks back at their belongings, but no longer feels any attachment. The car keys, which once never left their hand, now seem meaningless. The house they loved so much becomes nothing more than empty walls. None of it belongs to the next stage of the journey. But there's something more, something many have never considered. This revelation comes as an inevitable whisper, a truth impossible to ignore. None of what they fought to hold on to matters. It's a quiet shock. Everything that was once solid and important is now just a distant shadow. They begin to wonder, why did they spend so much time chasing what they couldn't take with them? This detachment, though devastating in the first moment, becomes liberating. The soul feels light, no longer bound to what is fleeting. The material world, which seemed so solid and necessary, dissolves, and the spirit moves forward without the chains that once held it to the earth. This detachment is the first step toward accepting the final departure. Material possessions define us in life, but in the end, they become mere shadows, illusions we can't carry with us. And so, the soul continues, finally free. There's a moment after the final breath, when the soul begins to detach from the body, and suddenly, everything changes. You see yourself, but not like before. The body, once filled with all the sensations, the pains and pleasures of life, now feels distant, almost unrecognizable. What most don't expect is to see themselves from above, as if floating, watching what they've left behind. At first, there's this quiet confusion. The soul tries to understand what's happening. It sees its own body lying there, the people gathered around, the farewell unfolding, but it doesn't fully grasp what it means just yet. It's like something is pulling it back, as if for one brief moment, it could return. But then comes the truth, merciless. The soul reaches for the body, but the connection is broken. The feeling of separation is devastating, even if it's fleeting. There's no way back. In that instant, acceptance starts to emerge. There's no more pain, only this strange calm, like fate is calling. The body, which once seemed like the center of everything, is now just a distant memory. The loved ones might be crying around it, but for the soul, a new perspective takes shape. It understands it no longer belongs to that world, and the weight of reality starts to fade. I've witnessed this so many times. The soul hesitates, it tries to reconnect with what was once its physical existence, but soon realizes the separation is final. Life, as we know it, has come to an end. This moment is crucial for understanding the new reality. The soul accepts it can't return, that the journey ahead is inevitable, and that all it can do now is move forward, even though the only certainty lies in the unknown. Sometimes, when a soul leaves the body, it doesn't go right away. Instead, there's this need, this final urge to say goodbye to those it loved in life. And in those moments, the soul finds an unexpected path. It visits its loved ones, not in a physical way, but through dreams. Sleep is a portal, a bridge between the world of the living and what's to come. It's there, in those dreams, that the soul can offer its final farewell. I've seen this happen so many times. The loved one drifts off to sleep, unaware that a goodbye is about to unfold. The soul approaches gently, barely noticeable, just a soft presence. And then, suddenly, in the middle of a dream, the person feels this peace that can't be explained. They see the soul of the one who's gone, not in pain, but calm, serene. No words are needed, the farewell just happens. These visits aren't frightening, far from it. They're moments of relief, where emotions are spoken without words, where the wounds of grief start healing before the loss is even fully realized. I witness these visits as part of a final act of love. The soul doesn't want to leave any loose ends, nothing unsaid. And so, in a dream, it leaves its last message of comfort: I'm at peace. You'll be okay. And for those who are visited, the dream is never forgotten. It becomes a beacon of calm in the midst of pain. The farewell in dreams is the soul's way of making sure that, even though its body is gone, the love it shared will keep living on. The transition is complete. The soul can move on, knowing its final message has been delivered. When the soul crosses that final threshold, there's an inevitable moment of reflection. The life that just ended doesn't simply vanish, it unfolds before the soul like a movie. Every moment, every choice, every action is shown with a clarity that humans never possessed in life. The soul sees it all, no filters, no excuses. First come the moments of happiness. Laughter echoing in forgotten rooms, warm embraces from distant times, and those little flashes of pure joy that seemed insignificant in the moment, but now they shine with an intense light. The soul revisits the bonds it formed, the connections made throughout life, and for a brief moment, feels the presence of those it loved once again. But then, the shadows start to creep in. There's no escaping it. The film of life reveals the mistakes, the moments of anger, the words that should have been spoken but got stuck. It's at this point that the soul falters, haunted by its failings. It tries to look away but can't. Every regret, every choice that caused pain, is laid bare. It's an unforgiving truth, impossible to erase. The soul feels the weight of what could have been different, and for a moment, the pain of awareness is overwhelming. This is the hardest part. I've witnessed so many souls go through it, and the reaction is always the same: deep silence and inevitable acceptance. Because the soul realizes it can't change what's past, there's no going back. And in that acceptance, something unexpected happens. The pain starts to shift. The regret, once crushing, begins to lose its hold. The soul understands that even the mistakes had their place, that every fall taught something essential. What once seemed irreparable now reveals itself as part of growth. The life movie isn't a judgment, but a revelation. The soul, in the end, understands that life wasn't about perfection, but about learning. And as it watches its journey unfold, the soul prepares for the next step, lighter, wiser. It can't change what's been done, but now it understands the purpose behind every choice, every mistake, and it's in this understanding that the soul finds redemption. After the life review, something inevitable happens. A light. But it's not just any light. It's as if the very horizon bends and reveals a hidden truth, a presence that you can't merely see, but feel deep within. It's there, calling, like a warmth wrapping around the soul, offering a relief that seemed impossible until now. At first, the soul hesitates. There's a subtle fear of moving forward, as if part of it is still clinging to the world it left behind. The light doesn't push. It just waits, patiently, like an ancient secret waiting to be revealed. The soul inches closer, slowly, feeling the weight of the unknown. But as it moves forward, something begins to change. The pain, the heaviness of life, starts to melt away, like snow under the sun. And the soul realizes everything it feared is fading away. I've witnessed this journey countless times. At first, the soul tries to hold on to what it knows, but the pull of the light is beyond measure. It's not a harsh force, it's gentler, more like an embrace that envelopes and soothes. The light isn't just bright, it's welcoming. And as the soul crosses that threshold, it understands, this light doesn't signify an end, but a new beginning. All the fear, the doubts, the regrets that once felt so overwhelming, now feel distant, like echoes across a vast ocean of peace. In that moment, the soul finally understands. The light doesn't judge, doesn't punish. It simply offers a truth: the journey isn't over yet, but now it will continue in a different way. Life was just one phase, and this light is where all the questions fade away, where everything makes sense. The soul moves forward, not looking back, knowing it's walking towards something far greater than anything it's ever known. And so, the light welcomes it, like the rising sun over a field awakening after a long night. As the soul moves forward, wrapped in light, a moment of deep revelation emerges. At first, there's a silent struggle. The soul desperately tries to understand why there was so much pain, so much loss. Why did things happen the way they did? The weight of these questions, which had haunted the mind so often in life, feels even heavier now, as if the answer is close, but still just out of reach. And then, everything changes. Life, with all its moments, the triumphs, the failures, the loves, the regrets, begins to piece itself together before the soul, like a puzzle finally finding its shape. What once felt like chaos now makes sense. The soul sees, with an almost overwhelming clarity, that nothing was random. Every hurt, every smile, every choice was part of something much larger than it could ever comprehend in life. I've witnessed this transformation many times before, but each time it's unique. There's a pause. The soul breathes, or rather, it feels as if it's breathing for the first time all over again. All that confusion, the seeming chaos, dissolves in the face of a deeper truth. The purpose of life wasn't to avoid pain, but to grow through it. The soul realizes that in its endless search for answers, it had forgotten that every mistake, every misstep, was just another step toward understanding and evolution. This is the moment when true peace arrives. Not some fleeting peace, but the kind that comes from recognizing that life was exactly what it was meant to be. The soul, which once felt so small under the weight of its doubts, now understands it was part of something far greater, something that transcends time and space. Every scar, every painful memory, now shines like a badge of wisdom, and the soul finally realizes it was never alone on this journey. This revelation, this understanding that everything, absolutely everything, had a purpose, marks the final transformation. The soul, once burdened by the weight of regret, now walks toward the light with a serene acceptance. It sees that the purpose was never in perfection, but in experience, in love, and in learning. And with this newfound understanding, the soul readies itself for the next step, knowing its journey is complete, and that every moment truly mattered. As the soul moves toward the light, there's a moment of profound silence, a moment when the world around seems to be suspended in time. It feels like something is about to happen, something unexpected. And then, before its eyes, a new horizon begins to form. At first, there are only shadows, indistinct shapes in the midst of the unknown, and the soul hesitates. What are these shadows? What's coming? A subtle apprehension takes over until faces begin to emerge, one by one. There's an immediate recognition, but the soul struggles to believe. Is this really happening? It wonders. These faces that are now becoming clear are those of the ones who passed before, people it never thought it would see again. The shock gives way to an overwhelming emotion, surprise, relief, and something deeper, a sense of belonging. Like a door slowly creaking open, the soul realizes that these loved ones were always there, waiting just beyond mortal sight, on the other side of the veil. In this moment, the soul feels torn between disbelief and the urge to run toward them. There's a brief pause, as if time itself halts, allowing the soul to fully absorb what it's witnessing. And then, with a hesitant step, it begins to move forward, slowly at first, then with growing confidence. The outstretched arms of those waiting seem to draw nearer, and finally, the soul understands, this reunion isn't just a dream or a hope, it's a promise fulfilled. I've witnessed this moment countless times, yet it never ceases to hold an indescribable beauty. Every soul has its own reunions, a father, a mother, a dear friend, even a child who left too soon. The tears that fall are no longer of pain, but of a relief so deep only eternity can offer it. There are no words, only presence. And in that silent embrace, the soul realizes that love was never lost, it was simply waiting for the right moment to reveal itself again. These reunions are more than just a comfort, they are the bridge between what was and what is to come. Those who passed before have always been there, silently watching, waiting for this moment. And now, as the soul moves into the embrace of those it loves, it finally understands, death is not an eternal separation, but a reunion so profound it transcends all boundaries. And so, with a light heart, the soul moves forward, knowing that from this point on, it will never be alone again. As the soul crosses the final threshold, a sense of vastness floods its being. Everything around dissolves into a peace that words can't quite capture. Yet, there's hesitation. The soul feels something greater approaching, something it may not be ready to face. A presence grows, a force the soul recognizes but has never fully understood. For a brief moment, it wonders, am I ready for this? And then, the light. Not just any light, but something so intense, so enveloping, it's almost tangible. It's as if every part of the soul is embraced by this warmth, by this force that goes beyond understanding. The soul finally realizes, this presence isn't unfamiliar. It was always there, at a distance, silently watching, quietly guiding. Now, it stands face to face with the divine. And in this encounter, the soul feels every doubt, every fear, every scar begin to dissolve. The light intensifies, but not overwhelmingly so. It's like a welcoming fire, an eternal flame the soul has always carried inside, yet never knew how to ignite. Now, that flame grows, and the soul understands there is no separation between itself and this divine force. It has always been a part of it. The soul hesitates one last time, as if it needs to leave behind the last trace of its earthly identity. And then, it surrenders. This surrender isn't about submission, but acceptance. The soul understands the journey hasn't led to an end, but to a return. Like a drop of water merging back into the ocean, the soul reunites with what it always was. There is no more resistance, no more fear. Only a complete fusion with the eternal. Every doubt, every regret that once weighed upon the soul now becomes a gentle breeze, and it dissolves into the light, knowing this is the place it has always belonged. And so, the cycle is complete. The soul, once feeling lost and alone, is now part of something infinitely greater. It realizes that death isn't an ending, but a return home. A place where love is the only truth, where peace is eternal. There are no more words, no need for understanding. Everything simply is. And with that, the soul finds its final rest, knowing it is, forever, home in the eternal embrace of the divine. And one day, my friend, we will meet again, on the day of your death.
In shadows I walk, I've been here from the start. I am that seals fate, the end of every heart. I'm no villain nor hero, I'm the peace amidst the pain, the angel who comes, who takes, yet offers love again.